Wife takes revenge on cheating husband with neighbor. Rick got up from behind his computer and opened the door. He wondered who might be coming in since it was only 7:30 in the morning. He was surprised to find that it was Jill. She and her husband Tom lived right across the street. Rick had seen them hundreds of times, even socialized with them, but didn't really know them very well. Tom was a big guy, a little soft in appearance, though his work on the construction site must have meant he wasn't really soft at all. A chubby, round face, a lopsided smile, and a big, bushy mustache completed his image. On the other hand, Jill was kind of cute in a way, although she tried to hide her figure. Rick had never seen her in anything but jeans or slacks and a fairly tight top. She was slender, and it was obvious that she wasn't too rich on top. Just a housewife, though they seemed like an odd couple to Rick. Tom was always smiling and a bit boisterous, while Jill was quiet and reserved. She rarely met anyone's gaze. The house he now lived in had been inherited by Rick. It was a simple bungalow. He loved the place. After all, he had lived there with his mom from the age of 10 until he was 20. Now that he was about to turn 30, he owned the house, didn't have to pay rent, and the utilities were conservative, and he could focus on his online sales business, which was actually doing quite well. A few more months and he'd save up enough money to buy one of those new Camaros, and he'd keep his old Chevy van to haul goods home to sell at auctions. Life was good, though he didn't have a girlfriend. He managed to make do with a few rare pickup trucks, and being fit and good-looking, he attracted female companions fairly easily. This morning he was up at 6 a.m. as usual, and was just finishing taking orders for the day when Jill showed up. "Good morning," he said to her cheerfully. It was obvious she wanted something, but Rick had absolutely no idea what it was. "I hope I'm not disturbing you, I just wanted to talk," said Jill hesitantly. "Well, sure, I guess. Come in." He held the door for her as she crossed the threshold. "Nice place." She stopped and looked around. "Thanks. Would you like some coffee?" he asked. Rick was proud of his house. Sure, it was simple, but it was also neat as a pin. Everything in his life was like that. Even his old blue van outside was washed and waxed regularly like clockwork. It was old but shiny. "So, what's going on?" asked Rick, holding out her cup. "It's Tom. He's cheating on me. I caught him. He just yelled at me, said I wasn't very good, so it's my own fault." "Good? What are you—" Oh, it hit Rick. She was supposed to be talking about sex. "I just don't know what to do. What is wrong with me?" She seemed to be holding back tears. "There's nothing wrong with you, Jill. You're attractive and—" His voice broke. Jill looked up at him. "Do you find me attractive?" she asked. "Well, yes. You dress, conservative, so it's hard to tell, but you seem to be in shape." "Tom always wants me to wear dresses and tops that, you know." She suddenly blushed. "I see. Well, men like their girlfriend to look good, I guess." Rick really didn't know what to say. "I don't understand. I'm letting him have sex. I mean, anytime he wants, but it's not enough. And now he's dating that girl at Charlie's bar. The blonde." Rick knew exactly who she meant. It had to be Caroline. Blonde, always in tops that barely did their job, wearing shorts so short that the lower part of her body was hanging out. She was fun to watch, but she wasn't Rick's type. He preferred slim and smooth women. Something like Jill flashed through his mind, only she was so shy and conservative that he didn't pay her any attention. "I can't imagine—" "I mean, with a woman like you at home?" Rick tried to reassure her. "Do you really think so?" She seemed to brighten up. "Well, yeah, I think so. In fact, if you weren't married, Tom told me to go and find someone. Maybe it would make me stop being so shy." "You're kidding." "No, I'm not kidding. But I don't know anyone, and I just can't. Not with a stranger." She suddenly smiled. You were the only one I could think of, she told him. Yeah? Yes. You're always so sweet, and I know you're an attractive man because I've seen you bring women home. I guess I don't really understand. I wanted to ask you if you would make love to me. Tom said it would be good for me, because Tom is the one. Rick just stared at her. If you don't want to, I'll understand. She lowered her eyes, suddenly shy again. I think I'd like that idea, he told her. Really? Oh dear, I thought you'd say no. Jill stood up and looked around. Do you want to do it here, or should we go to the bedroom? She asked. Rick had a hard time suppressing a laugh. This conversation was weird. He just couldn't imagine what was going on. Tom won't find out and come here to try and beat me up, will he? Number, I already told him that if I'm going to do that, it's only with you. She smiled. You're kidding. No, I'm not kidding. He went and did it with that cheating girl, so I'm on my own. Besides, he told me it would be good for me, told me that I'm a stick in the mud. Jill's chin rose defiantly. But you didn't. What do you mean? Tom's the one. Yes, but he said I could only do it once. She watched Rick stand up. He reached out to take her hand. She took it, and he led her into the bedroom. Letting her go, Rick walked over and sat on the edge of the bed. Come on, undress for me, he grinned. What, you mean just take my clothes off just like that? Yes. I want to look at you. But it's so bright in here. He watched as she stuck her tongue out and ran it across her upper lip. Jill was showing some signs of mild submission, so he decided to take a chance and just told her to do it. Uh-huh. Rick leaned back, supporting himself with his arms. Her hands reached up and began undoing the buttons on her blouse. Jill's face flushed, but she slid the blouse off her shoulders and then just stood there. And the bra, too, said Rick. Yeah, okay. She reached back and fastened the clasp, held it against her for a moment, then tossed it to the floor. Her breasts were about an A, not very large. Her breasts seemed flushed as she stood and let him examine them. I have tiny breasts, she muttered. It's just perfect. Rick leaned forward, reached out and took her hand and grasped her brush. A slight tug and she was in his arms. Oh! She cried out, louder this time. Undress me, he told her. Jill's hands immediately made their way to his belt, then she undid the zipper. She stood up to pull down his jeans. Next, they had sex, and it was wonderful. She lay there, panting. It took at least 5 minutes before her breathing recovered. Tom says I'm boring in bed, she said as they lay there enjoying the aftermath. Tom's head is in the garbage, Rick told her, and she giggled. Later, Jill and Rick made love a second time, with Jill being even more energetic this time. It was already 3 o'clock in the afternoon when she finally left and walked across the street, wanting to be home by the time Tom arrived. For several days, Rick reflected on what had happened. Jill was a very attractive woman. She had obviously loosened up, because when he looked outside, she was in the yard trimming some plants. In a tank top and shorts? Knowing he was watching her, she turned to face him and grinned back at him. He finally had to stop watching her tease him, or he would go to her again and have sex with her in her house. But oh well, if it was just a one-time thing, then sure, it was very enjoyable. However, he wished it had been a little different. On Tuesday of the following week, Rick was reading email when he heard a knock on the door. Opening the door, he saw Jill standing there. She was wearing a pink fluffy robe. Hi, I thought you said Tom would only let you come over once, he asked. Tom's at work, and he could be there for a long time, said Jill, grinning. I'm not sure that's such a good idea, asked Rick as he was pushed back into the doorway. Well, honey, I think it's a great idea. Now get your clothes off. We only have about 4 hours. Jill, honey, I thought I should tell you. There's nothing wrong with you. Rick told her, stepping out of his underpants and underwear and following her into the bedroom. She had already thrown off her robe, which didn't have a single stitch underneath. She plopped down on the bed. "This is the most gorgeous woman I've ever seen in my life," he told her. Her hands went up and stroked her breasts. "Glad you like it. Now hurry up, darling, hurry up," she smiled at him. Rick laughed and took his time. "The end! Subscribe to my channel. Thank you."